and welcome to my channel. So my name is Emily and this is my channel Books for Life. And today I thought I would do something a little bit different than I have normally done. Typically, I tell you about the books that I want to read for each month as just a general TBR. But what I think I'm going to do is just tell you all the books that I hope to read by the end of the year. And I'm going to do this in 3 segments, maybe 4. I'm going to do like general books that I've gotten that I haven't gotten around to. Some of them are older, some of them are new releases that I just haven't had a chance to read yet that I'm hoping to read before the end of 2018. I want to do a segment on books that I've received in book boxes, whether that's Owl Crate or Second Star Books or Uppercase, just books that I've gotten in my book boxes that I haven't had a chance to read yet. I think I also am going to do books that are in a series that I haven't gotten to reading, like the sequels yet, or the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th books yet that I hope to read. So I have many books that I want to read before the end of the year, and I thought that at the end of each month I would tell you what I have gotten around to reading. But that's enough of an intro. Let's get started with the books that are on my TBR that I've gotten recently that I definitely want to read before the end of 2018. And the first one that I want to read is Meadowtown by Kristen Simmons. So this book is not new. This one came out in 2016. However, Kristen Simmons is an author that I've read before and I've really enjoyed. I read The Glass Arrow by her and I absolutely loved it. So I want to read more from her. And so I know that this is about a young girl named Ty who has been surviving on a factory line as long as she can remember, and she's always been alone, but now she has a friend named Colin, and the two of them together can help each other survive and fight the injustices that they need to fight. So her family's factory is what holds her together, and she is willing to do whatever it takes to keep things as they are and to fight for what she believes in. So I know that this becomes a story about, family, friendship, survival, and hope, and 3 people have to team up together, Ty, Colin, and somebody else, and fight what they need to fight in order to survive. I'm not sure if this is part of a series or if it is just a standalone novel. I'm hoping that it's just a standalone novel so that I can just read this one. It's nice to have standalones once in a while, but this is definitely one that I am going to read before the end of 2018. The next book that I want to read before the end of 2018 is These Shallow Graves, and this is actually a book that I will be using probably the month of November as the book that's been on my classroom library shelves, but I haven't had the chance to read it. I was given this book a few years ago from my boyfriend for Christmas, and I've always wanted to read it, but I've never gotten around to it. And it's about this girl named Jo Montford who is all set to graduate high school, and when she does, she's going to marry a wealthy, nice man and have a beautiful life. But then her father, who is a very wealthy businessman, accidentally shoots himself while cleaning a gun. That sends things spiraling in a very different direction. So Jo begins to look into her father's death a little bit more and discover some things that she probably shouldn't have discovered. And Jo has always wanted to go to school for journalism, and so she teams up with somebody, I think, who works for a journalism, a newspaper, and together they look into her father's death. I heard that this book is amazing. I've read other books by Jennifer Donnelly and I've loved them, some more than others, but I am really interested in this. I want to know more. I posted a picture of this on Instagram and somebody immediately messaged me and told me how much they loved this book and that it had a special place in their heart, and that just made me even more excited to read it. I was hoping to read it before Halloween, but I know I won't get to it because it's already Sunday and Halloween's on Wednesday. But I am hoping to be able to get to this maybe next week. This is definitely one that I want to read. This may come as a shock to some of you, but I still have not read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I even ordered a special edition box of The Wicked King knowing how much I'm going to love this, but I haven't read it yet. So I know that I need to read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I don't know much about it. I just know that there's a girl character whose name is Jude, and at 7 years old she goes to live with the Fae, and I'm assuming the prince of the Fae is cruel and mean, and I'm assuming there's a love triangle or a love connection there anyway. She has to win him over, I think. But it is a Fae story, and everyone raves about The Cruel Prince, and I know that it is one that I will love, so I will definitely be getting to this one. Another book that I haven't read yet is an urban fantasy, and it's The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I know many people have read this and loved it, and then there are others who read it and thought it was only okay, and so that's kind of put me off from this because there have been so many mixed reviews. I am really curious. Alice is the main character, and her grandmother used to write these fairy tales, and I'm assuming like she didn't really read them or didn't pay much attention to them, and then Alice's mother ends up being kidnapped, and so Alice must like venture into like this fairy tale world, which I think is part of like their world, in order to find her mother again. I love stories like that, but I've heard so many like mixed reviews on it that I'm nervous. And so I really do want to read this. I just haven't gotten around to it. Sea Witch by Sarah Henning is another book that I really want to read. I got this book for my birthday in September. I haven't read it yet, and I really want to. This is an Ursula retelling, and everyone seems to love it. Everyone who has read it seems to love it. I actually just read To Kill a Kingdom, which is like a Little Mermaid retelling, and I really loved that. And so I know that I'll love this one too. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I was told that like the end makes people cry, so I am very curious. But it says, before she took the mermaid's voice, she gave up her own heart. And so I am really like curious as to Ursula's background and the spin that Sarah Henning has put on this. And so this is one that I'm definitely hoping to be able to get to. It doesn't seem super long. Yeah, 347 pages, so I know I can hammer this one out in the next 2 months. Another new release that I haven't gotten around to reading is These Rebel Ways by Sarah Rash, and people were eating this up in August when it came out and really loving it. I know that it's a pirate story. It says a revolutionary, a raider, a prince will fight for their countries, their families, themselves, or face a war that could destroy the world as they know it. I am all about pirate stories. It looks like this takes place in 3 different perspectives. The next one is another like fairy tale retelling, and this one is called The Shadow Queen by CJ Redwine. That the main character is a crown princess, her name is Lorelai, and a fugitive, and she has one mission to kill the wicked queen who took over the Ravenspear throne and the life of her father. She's going to be using magic in order to try to kill this wicked queen. It kind of reminds me, after reading the description, of like a Snow White retelling. I really just love fairy tales, and I know that I have a few students who would like this, so I want to read this so that I can give it to them so that they can read it. But this is another book. This one is older. It came out... Ooh, look it, there's a map. Yay! I love maps. Oh, this also came out in 2016, so it's not as old as I thought. And then the last book that I'm hoping to read, probably in December, is Winter Song, because that's like, December is like winter. And so this book is about a young girl who has to venture underground and face the Goblin King when her sister is taken. And so this is an adventure story. It's a sister story. I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of like love triangle or love connection in this, but you know, it's another like fantasy story. It's dark, it's romantic, it's powerful, it says, and so I'm curious to know like the world that's built, and I love this. I wonder if it is like a Beauty and the Beast type of story where she has to like go save a family member and she falls in love with like the beast of the area, like the Goblin King, and you know, melts his heart or whatever. I don't know, but with the rose inside makes me think Beauty and the Beast, and you can't tell them all about the fairy tale retellings. So these are the books that have been on my TBR for a while that I am hoping to be able to finish before the end of the year. Let me know if you read any of these, if you enjoyed them, if you hated them. I would love to be able to talk to you more about these, and at the end of each month I will let you know which ones I've got into and what I thought so far about them. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I'll be back with a video soon. Keep reading!